Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be doing the Sword PvP guide. Now Sword is the most simple game mode by far, but it is very hard to learn effectively because there are so many different aspects. Now I am not too good at Sword and I haven't played Sword for a while, so I'm not going to be too good at this, but yeah. So Sword PvP, there's 4 types of hits. There's a critical hit, which is when you jump and while you're coming down, you hit them. And then there's a KB hit, which is where you just hit them back when your sword's fully charged. There's a swipe hit, basically, or just a basic hit. And it's where you just swipe, you just hit normally without sprint hitting or jumping. And there's like a minimized hit where it's if you spam click. And you don't want to do those last two. You really want to focus on just the first few. The first critical hit and KB hit mostly. But the main thing about making sure you're good in Sword PvP is making sure you have good spacing. You want to make sure that you can combo efficiently, and that if you are comboing, you make sure that you either sprint reset or S tap. S tapping is where you to reset your sprint, or if your opponent is jump resetting, which I'll get on both of those later. If your opponent is doing either of those, then you hit the W key to go backward instead of just going forward and stopping. And that's how I prefer to sprint reset over just W keying and stopping. I prefer to S tap and go back so they can't hit me. But that's important for combos. So good spacing and learning how to combo is very important because comboing takes a lot of practice, and you have to learn to sprint reset well. And you don't want to be using swipe hits. That's just something you don't want to do. You don't want to be having to swipe hit when you're meaning the critical hit or KB hit. But the Sword PvP is honestly a more complicated game mode than you might think. Because Sword, it's the most simple, yes, but like its mechanics are very hard to master. You have to be able to critical hit well, you have to be able to do so many things efficiently, and you have to make sure that you always get like more damage than your opponent does. If your opponent hits you, then you have to make sure you get them back with that same hit. Like if they critical hit you, then you have to make sure that you can critical hit them back or get 2 hits to suffice with the damage from their critical hit. You always want to do at least equal damage or more damage in order to stay alive. If you see how I'm playing, this guy is reaching me, and you might be, hey, you can't reach from that far. Well, it's because he can see me in a different way than I see myself, and I can see him in a different way that he sees himself. Because he sees me a lot closer because of my ping. I have 84 millisecond delay, meaning it takes 84 milliseconds between my actions, and so that means that he can hit me from further back because I have a higher ping, meaning I won't be going backward for 84 milliseconds. Now, the hardest part of Sword PvP is combos, which you have to learn how to do. And the hardest part about learning combos is the S tapping, which I said earlier, but also the timing and the KB hits. The best way to do it is if you're on a server such as PvP Club like me, then going into this boxing arena right here and just waiting for somebody to come is really good. And there's 2 types of combos I'm going to show you how to do in this video. There is a swipe combo, which is a combo that I kind of, like, in a way, like, made up. And then there is the traditional combo. And if you want to be really good in Sword PvP, throw in, like, a little strafe or crouch so they can't hit you, especially if they're critical hitting. Crouching if they're trying to critical hit is very important, and it will help you tremendously not take the bulk of the damage. Here's a swipe combo, or I'll try to get one started, and if you see pros PvP, you'll see that they critical hit a lot. But if you're PvPing, don't try to model it after a pro. Just PvP the way you want to. Just PvP how you can do it the best and how you will learn the best. Now, another thing is jump resetting. And jump resetting is also very important in PvP. And the key thing about that is that it's where if your opponent has you in a combo, it's where you hold the spacebar when you're about to take damage and then jump backward. It just hold the S key and you go further back like that. Another good advanced technique is punish critting, where if they hit you up, then you can come back down and critical hit them. Now, punish critting takes some of the very skilled experience, and it's hard to do, but GG's. But with punish critting, is they have to hit you up with a swipe hit, and then when you're coming down, you can critical hit that, and that just gives you some free damage. And there are some pretty funny exchanges that happen. See, that was more of a swipe combo there, to where he went like around in a circle, in a way, of swipe hits instead of KB hits. Oh, I'm not doing good this duel. Now, if you're worried and you're not getting any of these things, it's fine, and you can learn that. But just a quick recap: combos are very important. Making sure that you don't take as much damage, throwing a little shift or a strafe in there. Oh, GG's. Just couldn't hit him anything there. But yeah. So make sure you do as much damage to them as they do to you. Make sure that you can just like suffice the damage. And if you're playing a really good player, then that's okay. Because even if you're playing a good player, you can still win. And also, here's something I recommend. Have your main hand as left. I feel like that's better. Because if your main hand is... Because when you left click, you swipe your sword. And when you right click, you hold up your shield in most game mode. So that means that it's more coordinated with your mouse. And also, you can sometimes, before they come down on you when critical hitting, you can KB hit them away if you're fast enough while they're at the tip of their jump. Because then they... Oh, wait, what? Oh, GG. But that way, you can knock them away, and you get some time to just like wait for a combo opportunity to come up. And that's typically a very good thing to do, this is a swipe combo where I go around them, and it's not as good as a KB hit combo. See, that was a good sprint reset by them. How they quickly turned around, and they were able to see that. Now, sword PvP is very hard, and I do recommend some texture packs, such as a PvP swords texture pack or a short swords. Now, I don't use either of those, but they are very useful for people starting out. Although eventually you can just typically use the regular sword once you graduate from texture packs. GG. But don't be mad if you can't win. You will eventually learn the three main mechanics, or four, I guess, which are critical hitting, damaging. You have to pay attention to your own health bar. If you're wondering why it says 20 and not 10, even when you have 10 hearts, it's because that a half a heart is worth 1 point of HP. And so that means that... Whoa, wait, what? See, that was a sprint reset or a jump reset. But their health bar may say 13 right here, even though they're at 6 hearts. That's because half a heart is 1 HP. In my hotbar right now, or my hotbar... Oh, this is awkward. Just going around in a circle. GG. But basically, they have 5 hearts, but they're really on 2.5. But basically, damage sufficing, meaning you do more damage to them than they do to you. If they critical hit you, you critical hit them back. Try to always keep that as like a rule of thumb. And another mod I recommend is crosshair indicator, which if you see a little box appear on my crosshair when they come in range, that's crosshair indicator. I'll show you guys my mods at the end of the video and my keybinds, and I'll also show you some other stuff I have, like my hand and whatnot, and my sprint and stuff. Now, and if you're PvPing, never use hold sprint. Always use toggle sprint. But I recommend binding it to something like caps lock, because then it will just always stay on until you turn it off. And it's fine if your messages are capitalized. That shouldn't get you into any trouble or anything. That was a good combo by me. And sometimes you can get insanely long combos. If you've seen the pros, they can combo for a very long time. Or if you've seen the YouTuber Sharpness or Connection, he is very good at comboing. And he is incredibly skilled. PG. But these are my best tips. So remember, sprint or KB almost no swipe hits and not fully charged hits. Always wait for your hand to be fully charged or your sword, and then KB hits and critical hits. Critical hits is when you jump down. Critical hits is when you are falling down. See, this guy, he's just spam clicking, and it's not getting him much knockback at all. And it's hard to get a combo unless you're playing 1.8. Basically, and then KB hit, which is where you let go of your W button. It could be switching. It could be going to your sprint button. It could just be letting go. It could be anything really. But basically, you're gonna want to learn how to do those two types of hits very well. And you're gonna want to learn distance, so where you keep your distance and you can start combos. You're going to want to know how to combo by going like this, and and then you're going to want to do combos efficiently and learn how to do them the best that you can. And then you're also going to want to learn the absolute best methods for sprint and jump resetting, or jump resetting specifically, so that way you can get out of combos if you need to. And then yeah, that's pretty much the video. Distancing, proper hits, combos, and probably the most important, jump resetting and sprint resetting. Now that's the video. I used Lunar Client, just a default with my mods configured, and you guys can do what you want. I use an FOV of 94, and typically 95 to 105 is typically the best for PvP. But I use 94 just because I played on that for as long as I can remember. For everything I have pretty much normal. I have sensitivity on 60%. Never have a super high sensitivity, because you want to be able to move around, and you want to not just use your wrist and your hand, but use your whole arm when aiming. And I'd even recommend sometimes to go lower than that. Now, sprint, I have toggle, and I have toggle sprint binded to caps lock just so I can press it, and I'll be sprinting. You could tell from how you're sprinting by when you're jumping, if you go 1 block or 3 blocks. All of my stuff is pretty much the same. I bind all the keys I'm never going to press to 7. And then my drop item is Q. And then my hotbar slots are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I have X and C. Then I have mouse button 5 and mouse button 4, which are the buttons on the side of my mouse. Then you have V for hotbar slot 9. Then E and F, which are just typical. Now, my mods that I use are Bacteria mod, which lowers fire and the shield so that you're not taking up your whole screen. Better F3, which basically just makes it not as cluttered, and you can modify it to show exactly what you want it to show, and cut out stuff that you don't want. Cloth config, which is just a mod, an API. And then crosshair indicator, which I was talking about, which is basically if I go over to this AFK player right here, if I'm not near them, see, there's nothing around it. But if I'm near them, there's this little box in the middle that goes around the crosshair, and that helps you know when to combo. Or in mace kits, when to hit, or stuff like that. Next up, I have quit drop confirm, which drop confirm is just a really good mod to where if you accidentally hit your drop key like Q, you won't drop your most important weapons or armor pieces and stuff like that. And then Itcher is just bundled in Lunar Planet. Iris is a shader that I do not use, but it comes with Lunar. Lithium is just an optimization mod, but it's great and I recommend it. Minecraft is just the base game. Mix and Extras is bundled with Lunar. Mod menu is how you're able to scroll through all these and how you can see them. And I'm pretty sure it's bundled in Lunar. Then there's Natural Motion Blur, which is very nice. And basically, if you do this, see how it blurs a little bit? And it's not super fast. Like that's Natural Motion Blur. And if I were to turn it off, it'd be a lot more like it wouldn't be as nice and smooth. It would be a lot more clunky and just like sharp on the edges. And then shield statuses, which basically if your opponent's shield is holding up, if they're holding up their shield, it's green. But then if you disable it, it's red, and that's how you can tell what to do. And then there is Sodium, which is an optimization mod, and I'm pretty sure it's bundled in Lunar. But if it's not, I completely recommend it. Status effect timer, which is how you're able to see speed 3 for 14 seconds. Typically, it would just say speed 3, and it wouldn't say the 14 seconds, but due to this, it does. And you can tell when your potion effects are about to run out. And there's totem tweaks, with basically when your totem pops, it doesn't take up your whole screen. It makes it a lot smaller, so we don't have to see that. Uku's armor HUD, which if you look to the bottom left corner right here, where my mouse is, while I was in the duel, that was where my armor was, and had numbers above. That's how much durability your armor has, and this is super useful. Uku's armor HUD. Uku Lib is just a mod, and it's needed for Uku's armor HUD to work. And then Walksy Lib is just a library mod for shield statuses to work. That's my mods and my keybinds. This is my sword PvP guide. Comment down below if this is good, bad, or ugly. I would like you guys to tell me whether this was another good guide, or if you want to see more like just me PvPing or stuff like that. Please subscribe to my channel. I want to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and that would be super cool if I could actually do that. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching this video.